Hello everyone. Every day we still have people that always find it very hard to select their games on basketball, even though they already have some strategies with them, like the over points, straight winning, and so many more like that. But in order to solve this particular issue, we need to always have varieties of strategies. In today's video, I will be showing you guys how you can make use of the basketball handicap betting strategy. Alright, welcome to this particular channel, Adele Best Predict. The channel has given you guys the best correct score prediction, betting strategy, and betting prediction. So, but handicap basketball strategy happens to be the safe version of straight winning basketball betting strategy. And in this particular video, I'm going to show you guys the step-to-step guide on how to make use of it. Without wasting much of our time, I'll be using a particular game under this particular league, which is what you guys are seeing on the screen, Perry Lakes and Junda Loop. So what I'll go straight now is to check their last previous game, because whenever you want to predict any games, you need to check their stats. Check the last previous meetings, check the last previous games they've played, check how they've been performing, their forms, because sometimes forms always affect the total figures that they always have in the games in basketball. Even though basketball is not always consistent, they are not always consistent with their results, but at least by using some particular accurate strategies, trust me, you should be getting something good from it. Now let us check the head-to-head stats and let's see what we have. So the home team, if you can see it very well, out of the last 5 games, they only won 2 games and they lost 3. And if you check the away team, they won 3 games out of the last 5 games and they lost 2. Now, before I choose a team that is in form, I always note that they must at least win 3 games out of their last 5 games, which is accumulated or calculated to 60% of form. So whenever a team is having 60% of form, 80%, 100%, and like that, I choose them to be in form, and those are the teams that I always predict, even if I want to predict the individual total points. Now, what you just need to do is that you need to focus on the team that is in form and checking the last 5 games. You need to make sure that this particular team has been winning their last previous games against their opponent. Now, this is what makes handicap to be very, very different. You need to check the spread, the gap, the common spread between them, even if they want to lose to their current opponent in their last previous meeting. You need to check, okay, what is the difference, what is the point difference that is very common in it. That is what will guide us in predicting our handicap. Now, to conclude, if we are going to predict Junda Loop as our favorite team in this particular game, because naturally, as I told you guys earlier, that if you want to predict straight winning, you can apply a particular strategy. But in basketball, things are not always right and accurate, because their performance always fluctuates. So the handicap app serve as a safe strategy for straight winning. Yes, handicap serve as a straight safe strategy for straight winning. So, and sometimes the bookmakers can deceive you with odds, and so that's why I don't like straight winning basketball. I prefer individual total points, over points, handicap, and other market like that. So now let's check if truly Joondalup would be our favorite team to predict as handicap. So now let us first apply our median statistic method. I believe some people on this particular channel already have a knowledge on how to make use of this particular method I use. This happens to be one of my favorite methods that I only teach my masterclass group members and also my YouTube members. But I've made it popular on this particular channel. And if you are just joining us, make sure that you subscribe to this particular channel. Don't forget to like our video and comment if you have any questions or opinion under the comment section. Now let us check the average points that the home team always have. So in the last 5 games of the home team, we are going to check that. So we are going to eliminate the two smallest and the two biggest so that we can move on to know whether we are going to pick this particular team. So we have 79 and 84 as the two smallest points in the last 5 games. Now the two biggest, we are also going to eliminate that. We are eliminating 99 and 103. So the average point for the home team happens to be 89. Now let us move on to the away team, which is Joondalup. So in the last 5 games, they had 93 here, 97, 109, 90, and 89. Now the first two things that we need to do is to eliminate the two smallest figures. We have 89 here, we have 90 here. Now let us eliminate the two biggest, which is 109 and 97. So it is obvious that the average point of the away team is more bigger than that of the home team. And currently the away team is currently in form. So for me, I think the away team is the favorite to go for as the straight winning prediction. But don't forget, we are doing handicap here. Now, let us finally conclude whether we are going to predict what spread of handicap we are going to apply for the away team. As I said earlier, that handicap serve as a safe method for predicting straight winning in basketball. Now let's see. So in the last 5 games that you guys are seeing here, one of the game ended up in straight draw, and eventually the away team won the game. And if you look at it very well, commonly these two teams, they have the average, like the same number of winnings in the last 5 games. Joondalup won here and they also won here, but their opponents won here and they also won here. So they had 2-2 winning. Sometimes I always like to consider the team that we are supporting to have the most winning. But in this situation, actually, the team we are supporting, which happens to be Joondalup, actually have the most winning. If we should consider this particular game that ended up in straight draw before they went to overtime. Now we are supporting Joondalup, right? Now let us check the average point that Joondalup and Perry had in the last 5 games that they played against each other. So yeah, Joondalup had 97, they had 97 here, they had 102, they had 90, and they had 80. Now let us eliminate the first two smallest, which happens to be 90. We eliminate okay, we'll eliminate 80, we eliminate 90, and let us eliminate the two biggest, which is 102 and 97. Now the medium figure for the away team, which happens to be the Joondalup, is 97 right now. But for the home team, Perry Lakes, so they had 89 here, they had 96, they had 110, they had 96, they had 68, and eliminating the two figures, the two smallest figures right now. So we eliminate our 68, they played here, and we eliminate 89. Okay, so we eliminate the two biggest also, we eliminate 110 and the 96. So yet Joondalup still had the highest average figure, which happens to be 97, which is more bigger than 96 that the home team is currently having. Now this is when you are going to conclude on the type of spread, the figures that you are going to apply as your handicap, the spread. Now let us check the common spread. Whenever Joondalup lost their game to their opponents, so how many point difference do they use to lose most of their games against this particular opponent? Now let's see. In this game, the loss to Perry Lakes, okay, is normal in basketball. It happens very well. Teams that you won't expect to lose a game, they will lose a game. Even if you carry 1.05 forward, sometimes the games can cut. So this is sports and it is dynamic. Now let us see the next game here. They also lost again here, and they lost 2 games perfectly to their opponent. Now let us now check the spread. The spread here happens to be 102 minus 10. If you subtract 102 minus 10, the spread there happens to be 8. Okay, now let us check the spread here also. 90 subtracting 96, we are seeing the spread there as 6. So naturally, the spread that you're supposed to be expecting in this particular game happens to be within from 1 to 8. But for safety purpose, because anything that happens is in betting, you can also add additional figures to that particular 8. The highest point spread that they've lost to their opponent happens to be 8. And for me, I always like to play safe sometimes when I'm giving people games. When you are giving games to people, there are some people that stakes so very high, and you have to consider their financial, you know so you also need to consider your own financial wallet, because it is very important, and that is the purpose of gambling responsibly. So you have to consider right from the game, try to play safe and don't play recklessly. So we have 8 as our highest spread figure. Now this particular 8, you need to add a certain figures to it based on your own desired choice. Commonly for me, I always like to add sometimes 5, sometimes 6, sometimes 7 if I want to predict handicap. So now let's assume that I want to add a spread to Junda Loop, which happens to be the away team, and it happens to be the team that's supposed to win this particular game. But in basketball, you cannot always predict who to win a game, right? Except you are lucky. So I'm adding a point spread of, okay, let's say 13, by adding 5 to the 8, which happens to be the highest spread figure, which is 13. Now let us check the market. If the bookmakers would provide the handicap of 13 for the away team, that is plus 13. Okay, so now let's check some of my bet platform that I use commonly, and let's see if we can have the games there. So I think they should be playing the games on Friday, that is in the next probably 40, around 60 something hours. Okay, let's use 7 days, in the next 7 days. Okay, all right. Okay, unfortunately this particular bet platform has not included the Australian League games. So let's check other bet platforms and let's see. So unfortunately, the bookmakers are not has not impute the Australian leagues for Friday there, because what I'm seeing here is supposed to be seeing Australia League. So they haven't impute some of the games that we have on Friday on basketball in their system. So guys, the accurate spread that you need to add for that particular game, for that kind of game, happens to be 13. So during that loop, you have to give them plus 13. If the bookmakers are not providing the markets, please guys, try and always avoid the games. It is better to avoid games than to lose money. So guys, please make sure that you stake responsibly, stake with amount that you can afford to lose. There's no strategy that is always 100%, and we cannot be always 100% in control of these games. We are not the one playing it. And in sports, things are dynamic. Things changes over time depending on development of players, deterioration of performance of players, the health, the weather, and so many things like that. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like our video, subscribe, and if you are just joining us, just click on the subscribe button. And if you have any question, please, or you want us to discuss some things, some strategies on this particular channel, make sure that you drop it in the comment section. And don't forget to join our Telegram group. You can see it in the comment section and in the description. See you guys in the next video. Bye.